Hello and welcome to the Run Testers. My name's Nick and this is our first run review of the Nike Vaporfly 3. So the Vaporfly 3, a very exciting shoe, one we've been itching to review and been trying to get hold of for a while. Finally have it in hand, very excited to go and do some running in it now. So the Vaporfly 3 is the third version of the Vaporfly Next Percent, which obviously followed on from the Vaporfly 4%, the original super shoe, as it says on the side of this shoe to really drive the point home. It's got a little bit more expensive than the previous version of the shoe in the UK. It's now £235, but it stays at $250 in the US. It's a little bit lighter than the previous version of the shoe as well. It's 206 grams or 7.3 ounces in my UK size 9. Now, it's pretty close to the previous version of the shoe. I've had two versions of the Vaporfly 2, and one of them was around that weight, whereas the orange one I got more recently is 213 grams. So just trimming a little bit of weight there. It's actually more in line with the original Vaporfly Next Percent in terms of weight. Still got an 8mm drop, and while the stack height is not given officially by Nike, it runs up close to that 40mm limit. So changes made in general to the shoe have made it a little bit lighter. That starts with the Flyknit upper, which is much more open at the front and more breathable than on the previous version of the shoe. You've still got the offset laces that have been a bit of a feature of the Vaporfly line in recent years, and same setup at the back where the cushioning is just a strip of foam around the back of the shoe there to cradle your Achilles. Although one small little change that Nike has made is they've made the seam at the back offset running up the heel there, which hopefully might reduce any chance of heel irritation. And then you've got a little bit of internal structure around the heel to add some support. The midsole is obviously Nike's ZoomX foam. It's the PEBA-based foam, the super foam that essentially has set the standard for modern racing shoes. And running through the middle of that foam is a scooped carbon plate, Nike's Fly plate. The midsole shape has changed quite a bit from the previous version of the Vaporfly. Look at the different heel design here. You've got cutouts here and a big cutout underneath to reduce weight. This slightly stepped texture you've got in the middle of the shoe as well. And then for the outsole, you've got the usual configuration, which is good forefoot coverage, two strips at the back, but it has changed a little bit in that we've got a waffle design on the forefoot there, and it's a thinner outsole rubber. Nike basically took a couple of millimeters off the outsole thickness to add a couple of millimeters of ZoomX foam to add a little bit more bounce into the shoe without increasing the stack height. So Gill has been out and raced in the shoe, and I'm off shortly to do a tough session in it, including a park run. So let's see how the new Vaporfly feels. And last thing to say before we dive into running is a big thank you to ProDirect Running for sourcing my sample for the review. Jill's were a birthday present, she bought her pair, but yeah, thanks very much to ProDirect. It's been really hard to get hold of these. I've been struggling to find a pair myself, but they sorted me out the sample so I could get rid of this review. We're not affiliated with ProDirect in any way, but they did sort the sample, so big thank you to them.
Hey, welcome to the Run Testers. My name's Gill Bund and I am about to take the new Nike Vaporfly for a race test. I'm here at Kibworth Harcourt in the Midlands for the Leicester Road Running League's 6-mile race. It's the second one of the season, and I raced yesterday and set a 10k PB, so it's going to be interesting to see how the new Vaporflies help me and whether they make things feel any easier today. Let's go! I did record a post-race thought, but in the heat of the moment and the excitement of it all, managed to get sweat in the microphone or something. But anyway, the results would speak for themselves. My legs should have been absolutely battered, but instead I had an absolute stormer of a race. It was really hilly, and these shoes just took that fatigue right away. Main problem? My laces came undone in the middle of it. Now, I appreciate that is partly my own fault for not double knotting, but those kind of serrated laces don't stay done up if you don't double knot them. So that's always worth noting. That the tongue is odd, but it didn't cause any problems. The upper looks really stiff and scratchy, but actually was really comfortable, and the airflow through it is fantastic. They are light, they are really responsive. If anything, slightly squishier, particularly on the heel than previous editions. I found I didn't slap as much in them as I sometimes do on Nike the previous Vaporflies, and I felt like there was less wear on the heel off a single run than previous editions. So somehow it was making me hit it a little bit less hard on my heel, but the return is there. You know, they feel comfortable. We'll talk a bit more about the fit in a second, but they are just another excellent shoe from Nike, and they're, you know, just a tiny bit lighter and a tiny bit newer. So there's not really much going wrong there, I don't think.
Good morning from Barking Park in East London.
Gorgeous day, gorgeous park. Here to do first run of the Vaporfly. Got a long session on the cars today, starting with 5k at 3:30 per k pace. Then I go into the park run, going to do that hard, try and run that fast. Don't know really what time that will be, but hopefully low 16, something like that, 16:30. And then another 5k at 3:30 per k pace. Probably be taking kind of 3, 4, 5 minutes off in between, something like that. So yeah, it should be a really nice test of the shoes over a long workout with a lot of pace in it, including some all-out 5k pace and some hopefully slightly more relaxed 5ks before and after. I think the second 5k is going to be really hard, so I'm not expecting that to feel easy at all, but that'll be a good indication of how holding what is just slightly faster than my marathon pace on tired legs feels in these shoes. Yeah, should be really good fun. So just finished up that first 5k. It was good, pretty controlled effort. Like, you can see my heart rate was below threshold and all that, and ticked around in about 17:20. So it's just a case of quicker recover now. Got a couple of minutes for the start of park run. Feeling pretty good. Shoes felt really good. They, all the kind of hallmarks of the Vaporfly. Firm but not harsh feel. Where you get the responsive ride, you get a bit of sink in, a bit of pop. Anything like the platform maybe feels very slightly higher than the Vaporfly 2 to me, which I ran in a track session this week, and it feels a little bit more direct, but that might be the mind playing tricks on me because I was running all out reps in the Vaporfly 2, so I was probably compressing it a bit more. But yeah, that felt really good, really controlled, very comfortable. Looking forward to seeing what I can do all out now. So parkrun was good. It was very fast first lap of the course and slowed off a bit in the second, but I ran like 16:25 odd, I think, which is best parkrun for a little while. That was a good run out. The shoes felt amazing. Like, you feel almost a little bit more friendly when you're backing off a bit and you're starting to fall apart, I think. And actually that almost reminded me to get on it again. I had lots of little mini kicks in the second lap trying to get my pace back and stuff like that, but really enjoyed them. They're really comfortable for what is a lightweight aggressive shoe. Like, coming through hard like I do, snapping through, but no discomfort or anything yet. I'm already through 14k odd with 10k of hard running. So yeah, I really enjoyed them so far. They feel, for a Vaporfly, still got that aggressive punch, but they feel quite friendly in terms of just mooching around as well. Like that, I feel like, as I was going off form at the back of the end of that race, then they were still helping you forward, but they weren't like harsh or anything like that. And then when you get back on, you get that more directed punch if you are running well and driving into them a bit better. So yeah, enjoying them so far. That might have been a bit scrambled, everything I just said just then, because all I can think about this 5k death march I've got coming up, which probably won't be very comfortable at all. But that second 5k was surprisingly comfortable actually, felt really good there. Did like a 17:22, was within the pace, tired by the end, like dragging, but the pace was controlled. I just haven't done that much distance for a while, so I felt tired at the end. But I'd say, I like the shoes a lot in the park run. I really loved them in that second 5k. Like, felt so cruisy and controlled. They really do find that nice balance between snap and aggression and comfort. Like, they're still comfortable now. They feel really great for that. That was a hard pace for me second time round, but it's a more steady pace. I wasn't pushing all out, and it did feel like you could tick around in them for a long time in those shoes. Like, really thinking about things like marathons, obviously, that's a really good sign. And they still had that lightness and nimbleness and aggression, and they feel pretty stable to me as well. Like, there's a couple of tight corners on this course where you kind of just go round dead turns basically, and no concerns about them at all. Like, it's one run, but so far they really are finding that Goldilocks zone of comfort, aggression, stability, grip, everything really. So great first outing in the Vaporfly. I have to say, absolutely love these shoes so far. Really enjoyed that long run, longest run I've done for a while, with lots of hard sections, hardest workout I've done in a while, and it felt very controlled and cruisy. Good 5k in the middle. I did tail off a bit second half. What can you say? So far it feels like they are an upgrade on what we've seen before from the Vaporfly, but do have a little bit more comfort, maybe a little bit more cushioning there, just a touch. They feel like they can really hold you. I mean, the original Vaporfly was great for that as well. I went to the marathon distance and that, my PB in the marathons in that shoe, and but maybe feel like they just added a bit more here, whilst retaining all the great features of the Vaporfly, like the fact it is a bit more direct and aggressive than some of the other, cushier shoes like the Alphafly, that kind of thing. So yeah, top first outing. Maybe I'll gather myself a bit and have a few more thoughts later, but loving them. And the pink's great, isn't it? It's back in from the run now, and a very positive first experience with the Vaporfly 3. I really enjoyed them today. I was impressed by how comfortable they felt, how fast they felt, how light they are. Really are just ticking every single box. I do think there's a slight change to the Vaporfly 2 and how they feel underfoot. It's not dramatic, but you are getting a little bit more, I'd say, comfort, maybe even a little bit more bounce out of them, but it's all pretty close to cool. And I suppose that will be the big takeaway here, is that at the end of the day, as good as these are, as much as I enjoy them today, they're 240 quid, and the Vaporfly 2 is now often in sales for well under £200. And in terms of the value for performance, that's probably still going to be the way to go. The carbon shoe market now is so developed at this point. It's been going for a few years. There are so many great deals on older shoes that it's hard to recommend new shoes, but I really love these. I think they're going to be a great shoe, probably a little bit of an update on the Vaporfly 2, but if you can save 100 quid and get the Vaporfly 2, or already have the Vaporfly 2, you've already got the performance there in that shoe. Like, I used them earlier this week, the Vaporfly 2 that is, and they're amazing. They're still a great shoe. There's no real need to go and rush out and buy the newest version, but it is a great shoe, and Nike's done a great job here of updating the shoe, maybe improving the ride slightly whilst making it lighter. That's all good stuff, and given that they were never likely to go for a radical redesign, just tweaking the shoe to make it a little bit better is a good update. It's just whether there's really value there and rushing out to buy the shoe when the update's probably fairly marginal. However, obviously, I've only done one run in it and I absolutely loved it. So if we keep loving it throughout the rest of our testing in the full review, maybe I'll say, hang it all, go and buy it. But yeah, at the moment, love this shoe. Not sure there's any reason to rush out and buy it when you've already got great super shoes at home, or if you can find a deal on other ones. But looking forward certainly to doing some more runs in it, and maybe an official race at some point as well.
Fit-wise, same as the Vaporfly 2 really. They're a little bit on the large end of things, so 7 is almost too big for me, but 6.5 is too small. Plenty of room in the toe box, no rubbing.
Fit is all good for me, true to size in the Nike Vaporfly 3. I did heel lock my laces today. That's because I'm a bit concerned about my heels after they were ripped up by the Primex strung. So I've got them in a heel lock, but I had no problems with rubbing or movement or anything. Good amount of room in the toe box. So yeah, all good, true to size for me. That's our first look at the Nike Vaporfly 3. Let us know in the comments below what you think of it, what you'd like to see for our full review. Please do like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.